Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? Y'all know what it is, man. This your boy Tank be chopping, and we back with another haircut tutorial. Alright guys, what we gonna be doing on this cut is a number 1.5 guard on top and a mid fade. We are gonna be adding some enhancements. My client normally doesn't get enhancements, but I told him if I could do it for the video, and he was feeling the enhancements at the end. He was like, you know what, Tank, I really rock with these enhancements. We're gonna have to keep doing this. But nonetheless, man, I got the 1.5 guard on my new matte black lithium FX clippers from Babyliss, and I'm going over the top. As you can see, I am going against the grain and across the grain just to make sure that I get it all down to that desired length. I go across the grain because sometimes coming against the grain doesn't always get it down, you know, like 100% perfectly. So I like to go across the grain also, just to make sure that I'm being really consistent and being efficient with this guard and what I'm trying to do on top. Alright, so now that that is done, I have my number 1 guard on my clipper, lever all the way open, and I'm basically doing some debulking. So what I like to do is, if my client gets anything lower than like a 4 on top, what I do on the sides is when I start to debulk, I go down with a half guard. You know what I'm saying? So if he got a 4 on top, I would go with a 3.5 on the side. If he got a 3 on top, I would do a 2.5 on the side. But since he got a 1.5 guard on top, I'm going over the sides with my 1.5 guard. I'm sorry, my 1 guard lever open. But now I'm taking the Lithium FX trimmer and I'm punching in my initial bald guideline. And now I'm gonna raise that guideline up a little bit. I wanted it to be a little higher, you know what I'm saying? So I decided to raise it up a little bit, and now I'm taking off all that excess hair at the bottom of this fade. And as y'all can see, I didn't speed, well, just so y'all know, I didn't speed anything up in this video. I kept everything at its true speed because I wanted to show y'all basically how I try to move when I'm working, you know what I'm saying? Now, yes, I did cut out some excess time, excess space, but I didn't speed anything up. I wanted y'all to see basically how I kind of move when I'm just going through my steps, you know. But nonetheless, now we're on the opposite side of my client's head, doing the same thing, punching in that bald guideline, and then we're taking off all that hair underneath that bald guideline. And as y'all can see, I'm not really rushing through this haircut. I'm just taking my time, and this haircut took me 30 minutes, and that's with enhancements and recording. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can probably knock it out in like 20 minutes. If I wasn't recording, I could have probably knocked it out in about 15-20 minutes. And that's not even me like really rushing through the haircut. I'm just taking my time, just being efficient with what I'm doing and making sure I get everything right the first time around. And here, I'm taking my I'm taking my matte black single foil shaver. I had to think of what it was called, UV single foil shaver, and I'm taking the sides all the way down the skin. And I don't know if y'all can see it, but the closer I get to that initial bald guideline, I'm making sure I don't put as much pressure, and I'm using a slight flick on motion. And the reason for that is if I keep the same pressure from when I start to when I start balding, like from the bottom of where I'm balding all the way up to the top, it's gonna leave a harsh line. So I start to relieve some pressure the higher I get to that line, and I start to flick out just so it makes it a little easier for me. However, I did have to come back in with my shaver towards the end of this cut and basically blend that out some more, but we'll go over that when we get to that. But now I'm taking my clipper once again. I have my lever all the way open, and I'm setting in my next section. Now, just so y'all know, this is somewhat of a stretch lever on this clipper, and I'm just gonna basically show y'all my steps to blend this haircut out. But once again, clipper all the way open, setting in my section. Once again, being nice and consistent with it, making sure that I'm taking my time and making sure that I get it all down to that length. Now I'm going in with my half guard, lever all the way open, and now I'm blending into the 1.5 that I did earlier on in the cut. Remember when I was debulking, I went in with my 1 guard lever open. Well, now I'm taking my half guard lever open and I'm blending into that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close my lever halfway. And as y'all can see, I'm attacking this line, and it's becoming erased, right? It's becoming more and more erased the more I close my lever, and I'm gonna keep adjusting my lever close notch by notch until that line becomes completely erased. And even if it doesn't become completely erased, I can always go back in with my clipper lever open and take out that line. But as y'all can see here, what I'm doing is just some small lever play, adjusting my lever as needed, just trying to get this blend to look right, you know. So You can just go through your steps if you want and detail later, but depending on the mood, sometimes I detail as I'm going, especially when they have like an easier cut like this. It's a super easy haircut, but I decided to detail while I was doing my steps. But now I'm going in with my clipper lever halfway open, working that bottom line. As you can see, I'm coming up about halfway into where I set my guideline up. And I'm coming about halfway into that section, and you're gonna see me adjust my lever closed little by little, working my way down until that bottom line starts to become erased. But right now I'm still just going in with my clipper halfway open, just being real consistent with what I'm doing. I want to make sure we get that all down to that length before I move on. And now I did just close my lever, and like I said, I'm just working my way down until that bottom line starts to look more erased. Now, if that bottom line doesn't come out completely, you know that we can go in with the trimmer or the shaver if needed to get that bottom line out. So don't stress if that bottom line doesn't come out. These clippers weren't zero gapped out the box, so that bottom line doesn't come out. I do have to come in after this and hit that bottom line with my trimmer, and that happens sometimes. You know, if your clippers aren't zero gapped, you may have to do that. And these actual clippers here were not zero gap, so I did have to go back in with my trimmer and my shaver. And that's basically what I'm showing y'all here. I did zoom in a little more than normal, just so y'all can see basically how I'm attacking this bottom line. So I'm taking my trimmer, and as y'all can see, I'm really just using the corner of my trimmer. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that I'm being really detailed and being really precise with what I'm doing. So I don't want to use the whole blade because I may take off too much hair. So if I use just the corner, I could be really precise and kind of like point cut what I'm doing, you know. But once I did that, I decided to go back in with my clipper halfway open and adjusting my lever closed as needed to get that bottom part of the blend to look right. And now I'm going in with my shaver, but as y'all can see, I'm actually going with the grain. I'm coming down with the shaver to help soften that line. And now I'm gonna go ahead and punch in my line up. I'm gonna go ahead and put in this edge up, you know what I'm saying? So I'm starting off in the middle of my client's head, punching in my initial bald guideline, or my initial line that I'm doing on the edge up, and then I'm working my way over to the vertical bar. Once we get to the vertical bar, we're gonna go ahead and turn the trimmer. We're gonna try to leave a nice straight line, and then basically what I'm doing here is just making sure everything's straight, making sure that he's got a sharp corner. And now I'm just going back in and detailing the blend a little more because it still didn't look as icy as I wanted it to look. It didn't look as buttery as I wanted it. It just didn't flow perfect to me, so I went back in and did some more small detail work with my trimmer. But that's basically it for the left side of the haircut. Now we are going to be moving on to the right side of the haircut, and we basically going to be doing the same steps. So as y'all can see, I'm going in with my clipper all the way open, setting in my next section. And once that is done, I'm gonna put my half guard on my clipper lever open, and I'm gonna blend into that one guard lever open that I did earlier on in the cut. So this half guard lever open should basically blend into that 1.5 that I previously did. And then once I go over that a good amount of times, I'm gonna adjust my lever closed little by little, working my way down, trying to get rid of that line in that section. But as y'all can see, I am going over the same areas a good amount of times. Sometimes people always be like, bro, like, why are you going over the same section so much? You're not cutting anything. But really, I'm just trying to be consistent and just be, make sure that I get it all down to that length, make sure that it looks right before I move on. Because sometimes if you tend to move too quickly and you move to the next step, you're gonna have to go back and do a lot of detail work, and that's something that I really didn't want to do. I didn't want to have to do too much detail work, so I decided to just be really efficient in what I was doing, pay attention to what the hair was doing, seeing how it was blending, and just taking my time. You know, there's really no need to rush, especially when you have an easy haircut like this. Take your time, get that blend to look right, and do what you got to do. Adjust your lever as needed to make sure that fade looks good. So this is still my half guard. Now I'm going in with my clipper, lever halfway open, working this bottom section. So we're gonna go over that a good amount of times, making sure that we get all that down to that length. Then as you saw me do right there, I did just adjust my lever close 1 notch. And as you can see, it's lightening up that bottom line. It's becoming a little more erased than what it previously was. And then I closed my lever 1 more notch, and In theory, this should get out that line. However, like I said earlier, the clipper wasn't zero gap, so I will have to go back in with the trimmer and get that bottom line out. But I'm basically just doing some lever play now. Just adjusting my lever as needed, closing my lever, opening my lever, corner blending, doing some small detail work in this area. And this may just be me, you know what I'm saying? I may be like, you know, when I'm recording haircuts, sometimes I see things that really aren't there. I'm looking at the camera, looking at the mirror, and sometimes it looks like there's dark areas or dark spots, and I'll tend to go over the same spot a good amount of times. But then when I rewatch the footage like I'm doing now, I noticed that there really wasn't nothing wrong with that part of the blend, but it's all right to do that as long as you're being safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't take the fade too high. I didn't push any lines up. I was basically just making sure that I was being really consistent with what I was doing. And as y'all can see, I did revert down to my trimmer, trying to get this bottom line out. Now I'm going back to my clipper, no guard, adjusting my lever as needed. But if y'all paying attention, the blend is looking blurry. You know what I'm saying? We coming. This blend is coming together. I can't even get my words right. You know what I'm saying? But the blend is coming together. As you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and start lining up my client on this side of the haircut, and all I'm trying to do is make this side of the lineup look the same way the opposite side did. We basically want a mirror image, so we want to make sure that we pay attention to how the hairline looks and try to make it, you know, nice and symmetric. You know, just you got to have nice symmetry when you're doing a lineup. Now I'm going in with my shaver, trying to erase that bottom line. And like I said earlier, guys, I did decide to add some enhancements, but if you pay attention, I'm really not adding too much. I'm just adding enough to where it makes the lines pop a little bit, but to where it doesn't look fake. And I know I say this in all my videos. That's just how I like to do my enhancements. I give enough to where it looks good, but not to where it looks fake. And I think more barbers need to kind of focus on that, but that's a topic for another video, you know. But as y'all can see, I'm just going over them, the lineup with them enhancements. This is that Temptation by Kiss. Now I'm gonna add some hairspray on my client's hair, and then we're gonna add them hair fibers from Tomb 45 just to make the hairline look a little more natural. And once again, guys, I'm not spraying too much of these hair fibers. I just want enough to where the hairline looks a little darker and it looks natural. Alright, so now that is done, what I'm basically doing now is just relining him up. That way I can get all them excess hairs, make sure I take off all them extra hair fibers, and basically just giving one more pass through the lineup to make sure that it's extra crispy. And once again, guys, if y'all paying attention, the blend looking right, lineup looking right, enhancements look good. All we gotta do now is basically just hit them with the razor and we done. So that's what I'm doing here. I got my client laid back in the chair and we're just going over this lineup with the razor, making sure that we get these lines to pop just a little bit more. And really, if I wanted the haircut to pop a little more, I could have added the pencil, but you know, I didn't want to go too, you know, I didn't want to do too much on him. Like, he normally doesn't get enhancements, so just adding enhancements to the haircut, I knew he was going to really enjoy that. So, you know, I didn't want to do too much. But as you can see, we got my client leaned back. We're just taking off all that excess hair on the lineup area. Taking our time once again, making sure that we're being really efficient with what we're doing.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
Alright, man, so check it out. This is how my boy came into the shop looking. This is the before look. And this is the finished product. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this haircut in the comment section. If y'all like this video, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure and subscribe one time for your boy. Remember, guys, if you're in the Houston, Texas area and you want a haircut from your boy, you can go to my website, tankbchoppin.com. You can book there. If you want me to record it for YouTube, make sure to put that in the comment section. Also, if you want any discount on any tools you've seen in this video, you can go to fwbarbersupply.com and use my discount code TANK10. That way you can save yourself some money. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this cut once again, guys. Also, you know, we're doing 30 for 30. Go back, watch my previous videos. Make sure you subscribe so y'all can see the new videos that I'll be dropping. But yeah, YouTube, I greatly appreciate y'all for watching. And I really don't know what else to say, man. But thank y'all for watching. And until next time, I'm out of here. Let's go.